and got in by luck.
I'll be honest with you now, yeah. I don't even think Gordon's that good, but
Fair enough, you might not think he's that good, but he's still someone who has come through the youth
yeah,
and he has actually won a European tournament. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah, mm,
nobody in this team has won anything internationally, I
yeah,
would
yeah.
say, personally. Yeah, they've got the Champions League, they've got Premier Leagues, blah, blah, blah. You can say, oh, yeah, they'll use the Champions League as basically pretty much like the internationals. Once you've
They've,
got experience,
mm.
easily going.
they've only won stuff for the youth ages, isn't it? Yeah.
So my thing is, why are we not looking at what these other countries are doing and integrating teams together? Even Croatia, they had a young side. Look
Mm.
at them; they got to a semi-final and they push year on year. Now we're looking at a Croatia team and it's just like, yes,
You,
old. We
you
don't know.
know, Alex, you know why though, yeah? I've got two reasons, yeah. The first reason is these players on the international stage aren't as good again as what they're made out to be. That's either one thing, yeah. Secondly, yeah. If you're saying about integrating the under 21s into the senior team now, that's not really going to happen because
I
there's
know
too
it's.
many there's too many players that England have in this first team, especially as Southgate as manager, that he feels he has to play.
I
You
Because
get
know
that.
go on.
Let me just drop my 2 cents in. I tell you why it doesn't happen. Because if you go through that list of players and how many of those players are able to get into our top sides and start for them, it's quite
What
low.
what what from the first, from England's main team now?
Yeah, yeah.
So
There's only
you
a
would
few of them.
say Pickford, no.
No, no, I'm not about the main team. I'm on about the ones who won that European Championship. Yeah, these young players, these talented players that we should be integrating over time,
Mm.
they rarely get into top sides and really get the experience that you would want these kind of players to have at international level. Now, if you go to Portuguese players, for example, they'll come up together. Half of them will play for Sporting or something like that, and they'll get experience for Sporting. They'll get experience internationally, and they'll come up together. They'll get experience in the Champions League. They'll get, these different countries are able to do that. When it comes to our league doesn't, even though we have the homegrown quota, we don't rely as heavily on our own homegrown players
Yeah,
That's
in
the
our top
problem.
league, which
That's the
is why
problem.
you don't see it as often. Now, what started to happen now is that certain young players have gone, okay, let me go to Germany.
Mm.
Okay, let me go to X, Y, and Z country. And then you can do what Bellingham's done and get in early and they get promoted straight to the first team just because they're young and they've been doing business and making noise. Like on the European stage, they have experience. I'm not going to disqualify Champions League experience and say that doesn't really affect or translate onto the international stage when generally it does.
no,
Generally
of
it does. Yeah. Which
course.
is why you would look at a tournament and be like, Mbappe, you should be doing this. Yeah. Because this is what you do throughout the season. This is what you do for your club. You should be doing it for your country. Now we should have that same attitude for England. But I would say because of how we don't have you know how you have Madrid B,
Yeah,
Barca B. We don't have that in England. We
Mm.
have a loan system that's imperfect because half the time we're sending kids teams on loan, yeah. And if it's not working out, the unknown players are the first to be dropped, even if it's not on them. They just want someone with a bit more experience to get them out of a sticky situation. Now, it's only a few that go on loan and bad it up, and then they come back to the clubs and possibly get in. So, for example, Harvey Elliott did that when he went down to the Division One, and then you had the championship, and then you had the same thing recently with Tyler Morton. He had that same effect last season. So it's possible to see them possibly be integrated or to get a move somewhere else and then get the attention. But in England, you have to get the attention and the experience in a much harder way than in any other league in the world because it's hard to get into the top 10 teams within our league. It is hard.
But just quickly, but just on what he said earlier about the 21s integrating, yeah.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer's a prime example, yeah. Cole Palmer's come through the 21s, and the fact that the reason Cole Palmer doesn't play is because Southgate feels he's got certain players that have to play, and then
He's
he and
got
in front of
Foden, that's
Cole
why he don't
Palmer,
play.
huh?
He's got Foden.
Well,
That's my point.
He's got Foden and Saka basically. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
point.
yeah.
But he is better than Saka, and he's every bit and he's probably better than Foden naturally as well. He should be starting Cole Palmer. But again, Southgate is trying to fit in certain players all the time. So even like Anthony Gordon for me, as I said before, I'm not a big fan of Anthony Gordon, but Anthony Gordon should have got some minutes in this European Championships
He
for
did.
sure.
He did get like, was it 20 minutes or something?
I
Yeah,
don't
but
think he even got that, man. I don't think he even got that because
but
Anthony Gordon was the only out and out winger that England took.
Yeah, he
He,
would
and
turn to Eze before he would turn to Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, but again, this is a problem. You've got someone like Eze who's just like Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer's probably got a better end product than what Eze's got. But Eze is a street baller. You know what I mean? He's an individual. And
Yeah.
in international football, you need these kind of players. So the fact that he never gave Eze enough game time is part of my point. He's playing certain players all the time. Certain players can't really come off. And this is why I'm said to you already, and I'll keep going back to it. But Jude Bellingham is a big problem for England now. Because as long as he's in this England team with the PR that he's got, many managers are not taking this guy off. But there's better players that are playing in the positions that he plays. There's better players talent-wise that are better than him. Period. And the thing is with Jude Bellingham now as well, you cannot play Jude Bellingham in a deep line midfield role because he isn't that type of player, and he's not good enough from the ball to dictate play. So
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna have to play him.
England shouldn't be playing like that anyway. Like
They shouldn't, but they
when
shouldn't
it
be playing
comes to
him.
our midfield, yeah,
Mm.
we should be dominating possession against 99% of the teams we play against. Should be. We have the players to do that.
But it depends what nations you're talking about. Because if it's the Belaruses of this world and the Romanias, then yeah. But against these top nations, they're not going to dominate these top nations. These top nations have got better footballers. It's a fact.
yeah, but then this also goes back to my point. All these teams have grown together, so they all know how to play with everyone in the squad, no matter what,
Yeah.
how to play together. We don't. We're gonna get a new manager now, and he's probably gonna stick with the same thing. You might get one odd player that might come in.
Yeah. You might
No,
get Adam Wharton getting a bit more game time.
All right, you've got a player, yeah.
players still aren't growing together. Tournament after tournament, the England side always change.
But at the same time, there's kind of like there's a spine in England that
Yeah,
has fairly stayed the same for the past 6 years, right?
our back four is probably our spine. That's the only thing that's really not really been tampered with. Really, you can honestly say that our midfield has changed countless times.
Yeah.
Right up front doesn't really change.
I'd say since Calvin Phillips started playing as much, that's when our midfield changed more.
In terms of what though?
Because it was him and Rice. It was him and Rice all the time. Him and Rice, him and Rice,
Yeah,
him and
no,
Rice, him and Rice, him and Rice.
I'm saying
Rice is for me, I really
but I'm
Rice
saying in
says,
terms
go
of
on.
in terms of style of play, you're saying.
The style of play for the midfielders fairly stayed the same. Yeah. The only reason why you see Bellingham in the team, yeah, similar is because when he got the chance to play for the national team, he delivered. Yeah, and he was responsible for dragging the victory home, basically. A good few times. He was influential in it. Because they saw him young player, influential, doing it for the country, they was like, okay, I need to start him. All right. So I do agree that Southgate would have felt that he had to start Jude Bellingham. Does Jude Bellingham fit Southgate's nonsense? No. Does Declan Rice fit it? No, because Declan Rice doesn't even play that role for his club, yeah, for a good reason. And if you look at the rest of the team, they just don't mesh together, they don't gel together. So what I'm saying is the issue is Gareth Southgate. Now we could say that, oh, we've had multiple managers and it hasn't worked out. That's because, well, it's partly due to what you said before about the cohesion in the team, knowing each other. It's like if we go back to our quote unquote golden generation, like at one point in time before Rooney came into the squad, they never used to sit together.
Yeah.
It used to be split by clubs, and the fan base and the assessment of most of our players is the exact same way that our golden generation used to act. It's split according to club allegiances.
I don't look at football like that, man. To be honest with you, I hear it, but I think that's a very childish way of looking at stuff.
That's how most people.
No,
If you listen,
I know, but this is the problem. I mean,
so if you look at
I don't believe Barcelona Real Madrid do that. You know what I
if you
mean?
look at when people brought down the Bellingham one, it was it takes too much touches. Then if you listen to one person criticize Foden, always taking too much touches. But then if you hear another person, there's oh no, how can you criticize Foden? It's this fault, it's this reason, it's that reason. The same with Rice.
Mm.
Should he have done better with that chance? Oh, you're being too harsh. That like
Yeah.
everyone has someone that they feel like they have a need to protect.
Mm.
Yeah. And ignore Gareth Southgate.
We're fans at the end of the day, but I just feel as well we have no style, we have no identity.
Yeah.
Like what Len said earlier, yeah, we try to be possession based,
Yeah.
but we're not good at keeping possession. We're not. We're actually not. Like you said.
Who does that fall down on them?
Yeah, of course it falls down on the management. Of course it does, and the
Mm.
instructions give. But like you said, when Rice was on the ball, he's got to pass sideways because who's coming to it?
All right,
and if it is someone that is going to come to it, it's going to be Harry Kane.
All right, here's a question then. Here's a question for you, Alex. If you were to make England a possession-based team, who would you build your midfield around?
That's where it gets a bit techie because, yeah.
Yeah, but are you talking about any player or players that's available or players in the squad now?
Any English player?
Yeah. What English midfielder would you build it around? So it's not really a hard question because the problem is there isn't too many good central midfielders in England anyway.
Yeah, it's true. To say it's true is it would be a lie, but it's like I would pick Foden because
No, central midfielder. He's more attacking, isn't it?
Nah, but I'm the kind of person who includes like attacking midfielders as part of the midfield because they do function as a midfield player.
I thought you meant in the deep line where Declan Rice
just to make
just the midfielder.
Yeah, the midfield. Like you could say you can build it. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have an extremely mobile, like attacking 8 or a 10. Yeah, you can technically build a team around him just because of how intelligent he is at finding space in between the lines, behind the fences. You know what I mean? He's always moving, always seeking, looking for the ball. Good on a turn. You can build around a player like that because then you'd put the people next to him in midfield that will complement him. Or you could say, okay, I'm going to have a deep lying playmaker who's going to play the ball like Pirlo. So then that's how you structure it.
He can't even get that right back. Yes, let's allow that now. Yeah, come on,
bro. That's Southgate's team, bro.
That's
Southgate's team.
Back soon anyway. So
that's Southgate's team. All I'm saying is, I told you how I would more or less like out the squad set up midfield. Yeah. But it's mainly due down. I mainly focused on the roles that I believe the players can play.
Just quickly before you move on,
go on.
Alex, who are you picking to build a midfield around?
I'm probably gonna go with Foden.
Lens, who are you saying?
Okay.
Hobby.
Then it'll probably
the reason I say that.